Hello there fellow humans, and I hope you enjoyed my April Fool's video, but now let's get to a real joke. The BZT-70. It is in an auction. Now, will all new tanks now be in auctions? Who knows, but it could be likely because obviously crates are increasingly legislated out of games, so it is going to be a lot harder for game companies to sell gambling to you, so Wargaming might choose to do more of these auctions. And like I said during the Christmas auctions, you let this be done to you, dear player, because the competitive bid, it's been like 5 hours or something since this thing has been live, and the first bid is already 200 euros. One ticket is roughly €1. Actually here, one ticket is more than €1. So basically what we have here is people spending 200 euros to get a tank that, it says here, is a lot like the 183. Well, I know that's a great thing for the game, right? A game that has lost 50%, roughly, its player base in the last 2 years is definitely gonna benefit from having a more destructive tier 10 economy where basically you have vehicles like this, which does have really good armor. The turret, can't pen that. Obviously, the cupola, you can pen that very easily. If you can aim, if you have an accurate gun, you can pen that very easily. The lower plate, it's flat. You can shoot that. You should shoot that. Here, it doesn't have a lot of armor. The sides are quite well sloped, but it's quite a low vehicle, so you can just shoot down into it if you can. Also, you have this plate, so if the vehicle turns to the side, you can just shoot this plate. So the armor is a lot better than it is on a 183, but it's still quite good. Now, it does have only 2000 DPM, but it does have 910 alpha damage with 250 millimeters of standard penetration and 1200 on the HE round. Now, the HE round has 210 millimeters of penetration. It almost doesn't make sense to fire the AP with this vehicle. It has 8 degrees of gun depression, which is also pretty good, so you can go somewhat hull down with this vehicle. And the mobility is, well, not really that good, but it can still move around the battlefield just about enough. It's quicker than the 183. It really is more mobile because it has a fully traversable turret, has more gun depression, and I mean, it has 25-second reload, but it still has 910 alpha damage. So if you get 3 shots off, you're already doing more, way more, than the average player can every battle. That's all you need, 3 penetrations per battle. The way this vehicle is being sold, it has a special camouflage, and if World of Tanks Blitz has a lot of problems, but the graphic design, except for the anime things, has never been one of them. Obviously, this has nothing to do with the realism or anything of that sort. Wargaming's given that up 10 years ago. It is still nonetheless a well-designed camouflage. Bit futuristic, very interesting. Now, it is numbered, which the numbering adds nothing of value, unless you perceive it to have value, because it's just a number on the side, and it probably took less than 5 minutes to program that number onto the side of the tank. So it doesn't have any value, but 200 euros up here. The competitive bid for the first level. Now, obviously, these aren't even filled yet, but the 7 days left, these are probably going to fill. My recommendation would be, if you really want to participate in this auction, just bet 10. Otherwise, Wargaming wins, right? Because the point of this, Wargaming has proven during the Christmas auction that these auctions are a viable way of milking the players for money. Maybe they're even better than crates, because obviously crates are starting to get banned all over Europe and all that, and Europe is the main target audience for the game still. Asia and NA is kind of empty. America's never going to legislate anything that's good for the people. Wargaming could probably sell crates there forever. There is going to be more of these auctions going forward. There's going to be more new vehicles with camouflage like this because it just has perceived value without them actually having to do anything. Like, Wargaming doesn't have to do anything to program these numbers onto the camouflages, but they can make a lot of money with it, because otherwise they would have to give away just, let's say, 1,000 of these vehicles, and all would have the same value. But now, some of these vehicles with a lower number, they suddenly have more value, even though they don't. Right? It's like collecting NFTs, basically. It is literally an NFT that you can't even sell to another idiot for. Basically, it's worse than NFTs, right? It's something that you buy that has 0 extra value whatsoever that cannot even be traded or sold. That is what this is. But Wargaming knows this is incredibly effective. So they do it. Because why not? This doesn't work. I don't know. So, I know, dog. I know it's upsetting. I stopped doing shop reviews because, I mean, look at this. 2021, 2022, so not even that long ago. We had bundles. 10,000 gold, 2 good tier 8s. Right now, we have a Progetto 46, which is pretty good, and a Panther 88, which is basically worthless. It doesn't even include equipment. There's no equipment in this bundle even. and it's 13,000. It's almost 14,000. So it's 3,750 more for the privilege of worse tanks and no equipment. Yeah, I think the 50% decline in Steam player base over the last 2 years has kind of been affected by that as well. Because not only is the game not really improving, the shop is getting much worse. So what we have here is we have an auction that, if you participated in, minimum bid. If you do anything besides the minimum bid, Wargaming is just going to keep doing. Because look at this. Wargaming knows that people will pay for things that have absolutely zero value. And you will pay for absolutely zero value. Because maybe you're like a dentist or something and you're too poor to raise LMP3s, so this is the status symbol you buy instead. Who knows? But that's the thing. Wargaming knows that there is a select few people out there that are willing to pay massive amounts of money for something that is entirely worthless. And that is why Wargaming is also willing to give up on a lot of lower purchases, because if you can make more money from the whales, you don't need as much from the lower end players, right? If you can increase the amount of money per transaction, you can reduce the amount of transactions that were made. And I think Wargaming is going to continue to go in this direction, where there's going to be more auctions and more vehicles like this. And the BZT-70 is a step in further the completely wrong direction, because this thing, it's not going to be good for tier 10 matchmaking. I mean, sure, it is new, it is interesting, it is unique, but it's not good for the game. Nobody wants to play against this. Sure, everybody would love to play it, but nobody wants to play against that. Nobody wants to play against a 910 alpha damage heavy tank. That's not going to be fun for anybody. Wargaming's even threatening us. This is how far it has come. Wargaming is threatening us with Reforged update is coming. Oh boy. I think I should play more Blitz for now. Because soon,